Good evening, fight fans. And I really do mean that because if you're watching this podcast, you truly are a fan. So, as promised, we're going to have our UFC expert and wagering enthusiast, Angel, come in here in just a little bit. And he's going to give you some of his picks for this weekend's UFC Noche from San Antonio, Texas. Before we get to that, I just want to go over something that we didn't talk about in the boxing show. So, the monster Noya Inoue is going to be defending his undisputed championship against MJ Akhmadaliev from Japan. That's going to be on Monday, I think Japan Sunday, over in the States. We're going to try to go over that if we do the a live stream or a recording post Canelo Crawford. Me and Brian might do that, so we'll talk about it then. Post Canelo Crawford, the show last time just got the first show just got a little bit long. We did want to talk about the monster Inoue as he deserves, but we'll try to get to that post Canelo Crawford. So we have Angel, our UFC expert, coming in after this. All right, we're back, and we're lucky enough to be joined by our friend Adog here, who's going to give us some UFC tips. And when I say we're lucky to be joined by him, I really do mean that. And you know why? Because Adog, how did it go, man? Did you get that Commodore 64 fired up? Did it actually come through and allow you to join us here today?
It got finally. It took a little bit, but we got it going. You know how we do.
I know, man. You need to upgrade, man. You can't be using MS DOS forever. All right, you need to upgrade.
Man. Some of us are there, some of us are just trying to get there.
I know. We all get by. We get by. You get by with what you got. All right, but one thing you do know about, you may not know software and hardware too much, but one thing you do know is you know UFC, and when it's time for the upset special, or if it's time to keep your money where it is, you're the person to come see. All right, so let's talk about UFC Noche this Saturday, September 13th, from San Antonio, Texas. Programming note on that. Do you know what time it starts? Because I know it starts a little bit early. Did you hear? It starts at 12, right?
It is the
undercard?
3 p.m. Eastern time for the prelims and 6 p.m. for that main card.
Right. So over here on the West Coast, we kind of gear it towards the West Coast. So it's like noon, and then 3 for the main event, noon for the prelims, and 3 for and that's because of the Canelo Crawford, I'm guessing. So programming note, make sure you guys tune in for the prelims, get lunch, and get ready for that. You'll have the whole afternoon and the whole evening of fights. All right, where do you want to start off, man? Do you want to start off from the bottom, or do you want to start off right at the top? From the main event.
You know what? I just wanted this card kind of reminds me of on paper not looking that great, but it gives me that feeling of that Poirier Holloway card that ends up being a banger card, even though it's not looking great except for the and the main event fights on paper. I really think this is going to turn out to be a great card. A lot of newcomers, multiple new fighters coming in, making their debuts. So these guys are going to be hungry to put on a showing and show Dana and the execs what they can bring. But there's 4 fights I wanted to highlight. And the first one's going to be on that prelim card between Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos.
Great.
Tatiana's obviously coming back from that lopsided loss to Wei Li. So she's looking to prove a point that she still belongs. And, I believe that she will show because of, she was coming off that over a year layoff. And I believe in ring rust. So I think she's going to have a great showing. But Amanda, she is 38, but coming off a big underdog win over Lucindo with a unanimous decision. And as you know, Amanda lost to Verna, who's fighting for that belt against Mackenzie, which Amanda beat 2 fights ago. So, Amanda's going to be fired up to show that she belongs. And especially if Mackenzie Dern wins, she has a reason to get that fight.
All right. So you're saying Tatiana Suarez, she beat Dern? Is that what you're saying, or
No,
did you
no,
say that
Amanda
Amanda
Lemo,
beat?
Amanda beat Dern 2 fights
Okay.
ago. She lost to Verna. She fought Lucindo, won that, lost to Verna, but beat Mackenzie before that.
Okay. All right. And Tatiana Suarez, she had some health issues, right?
Yeah, yeah, that knee. I believe it was that knee that was blown out more than once, multiple surgeries, I believe. And I'm not sure if you believe in ring rust. I truly do. I just don't think that was the greatest fight to take right in the championship to come back from that, 18, 19-month layoff.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I do believe in it. Maybe some fighters are impervious to ring rust, but I would say for the most part, that's going to play a factor in when you're fighting elite competition after more than a year to a year layoff. So, how do you see this fight going? What do you think Tatiana's going to do? Really quick, what do you think she's going to do? And what do you think Amanda's going to do?
Well, this comes down to how they say wrestler versus striker. And, with me, I believe Tatiana's wrestling is just going to be much too much for Amanda. And it's going to be, lay and pray on Amanda. I think I see 5 to 6 takedowns for Tatiana in this fight.
Okay.
And I see her rolling to a pretty good unanimous decision win for her. And coming in as a big favorite, I believe she cashes that.
So you're going with the chalk. You're going with the favorite on that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, good enough. So, yep, if you're looking for the upset special, it's not going to happen there. Let's move on to the next one, to your next one.
Next is in the lightweight division between 17-8 Alexander Hernandez and 19-6 Diego Ferreira. As you know, my boy Alex Hernandez is coming off that big KO and stopping the
Yeah.
hype train of Chase Hooper. And,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
did talk about that the other day. I was telling Brian here, I was like, dude, I can't believe Hernandez is fighting again. He just took out my boy Hoop. And I was like, dang, dude, I was on the train. I was on the Hooperman train. I believed in him. I like this size. And well, who knows? Who knows where he'll go from here? But he's still young. But I had to say that because I'm on that train. I like the kid.
yeah, yeah, and I still see a lot from Chase Hooper, but just not now. Like you said, Alexander, he's 32, been in the UFC, knows about it now, done some growing up. He's on his fourth fight since October. And like you said, this is his second fight in just under a month. Um, and he has 3 straight wins. He looks like a resurgence. He's been in there with some great fighters back. He's fought in Ellenberger back then. But
Yeah,
like I said, I see this as a resurgence. Diego Ferreira, a vet, but
right.
he's on that older side now, 40 years old,
Little long in the tooth.
and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And he's come, he's itching the fight. As you know, that big fight with King Green was canceled for UFC 39. He's itching, man. But I just don't see it happening. The age, I believe, is going to be a huge factor. Alex, again, a big resurgence. This could be his fourth straight win fight. So I think he wants to prove a point that he belongs. And I'm not sure if he has a number next to his
I don't
name,
see one.
but
No, I don't see one.
after this,
I don't see one on either one.
after after this, I feel uh, he'll get some of that respect back. But as far as this
Yeah,
one, you know, go ahead.
yeah, Alex has he has kind of had that resurgence you're talking about. Yeah, he has a resurgence. I remember a long time ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember he was kind of he had some hype going behind him, and then he met Cerrone, and he got
Yes,
stopped, I believe, but he lost big. That was a big
he was talking
derailment.
all that smack. And like I said earlier, he's done some growing up. I'm sure now that he's 32. He got put in his place, and he learned.
That's good. No,
And like,
that's all
and
you
again,
can
he's
ask. He's
32 is
growing.
young. Yeah.
Yep,
So
that's good.
with this one, striker versus grappler, Alexander actually comes in as a slight underdog at -105, but
Okay.
I like him. I think that's disrespect. I like him, and I'm taking him at that
Well,
-105.
he's -105, so he's the favorite.
No, because with betting odds, Diego Ferreira is a -115.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
it's
okay.
right there. It's a pick 'em fight.
All right.
But you could call it even. But if you were to say who's, if you had to put an underdog, or favorite, Diego Ferreira is a little bit on the favorite side
Maybe
at -115 to -105. So it's right
okay,
there. It's right there. You could
okay.
call it a pick 'em. So with me, I'm
I get
going
it.
with again, the second. He was a big, huge underdog last month. I see him pulling it off again. Maybe not by KO, but he'll be in the win column after Saturday night.
No, that's good. That'll be a good 2, I don't know if he has more of a streak, but the last 2 fights, I think it's gonna get him right back in there if he's able to pull that off. All right, let's move on
Yeah,
to, the next fight here.
the next fight here I got straight to the co-main event.
Okay.
Rob 22-8, Rob Font against up and comer, a second fight, David Martinez, who's 12-1.
Second fight in
He's
the
the
UFC,
former
right?
second fight in the UFC.
Okay.
He's the former Combate Global Champion. He defended it a few times. I believe it was 3 or 4 times he defended. Um, he's 27. He's from Mexico. Gonna be hyped up against Rob Font, who's 38, but he's a good vet. I still like Rob Font, who was originally fighting your boy Raul Rosas.
That's right. He was. He was. What happened to Rosas?
He Rosas got hurt. You know what? I don't know the details. I didn't read up too much on it. I was kind of bummed
Okay.
and mad. So, I went on from it. I went on from it. But I think it was actually a blessing for Rosas. He just does not look good to me with his cardio. He did win those last fight, but just didn't look too great. He got away with that
Right.
win.
And Raul Rosas is a jiu-jitsu specialist, right?
Exactly.
Okay, you know what? I like Raul Rosas. He seems like a good kid, and he's got a lot in his game, and he probably does have a lot to learn. But you know what? It's UFC Noche. It's Mexican Independence Day. You have another Mexican stepping in. You know what? I don't know a lot about Martinez, but I think this might be more of a banger than it would have been with Rosas.
You hit it right on the head, man. I
Yeah.
like this fight even better. And this one's an even pick'em fight, straight across. No one's been said to have the advantage. Um, but all in all, I like David Martinez in this fight. Great striker.
You do? Okay.
Uh,
So, all right. So
I
going
I
with
like
the
I
underdog on
like
this one.
Yeah. Uh, my biggest concern here is the 5-inch reach advantage. And David Martinez is only 5'5", while Rob Font's
Oh,
5'8". I believe in that. In UFC, I believe in reach and height advantage. But hopefully, David Martinez, he's a KO king, man. He's got 12 wins, 10 KOs, and he does not play. And being with that, like you said, UFC Noche, I see him
right.
coming out and just putting it on Rob Font with the early under 2 round KO.
Okay, well, that's a good opportunity for Martinez if he's able to pull that off. Because from what I see right here, he doesn't have a number next to his name, and Rob Font does. He has number 9.
There you go, top 10. There you
So
go, top 10. So
that would be a big win for him if he's able to pull that off. I love seeing when they give people. That's one thing I love about the UFC, man. One fight in the UFC, and he's already fighting a guy like Rob Font and
because he
able to
stepped in,
display exactly.
he's not scared. Yeah, you know what? They
Yeah.
gave him the chance. He's taking it, and I think he's gonna make the best of it. So at a pick'em fight, I do have David Martinez beating the veteran Rob Font this weekend.
Okay. Oh, all right, great. All right, let's move on to the main event here from UFC Noche. Diego Lopez versus John Silva, one of the fighting nerds who they've been on they were hot for a while. They've had a little bit of a derailment on that train as of late, but they still look pretty good even in defeat. And Pratis was able to come back and get another win. So let us know, what do you think? Diego Lopez, who just lost that fight against Volkanovski.
Oh man, this is gonna, this fight could take take place in the basement of the Alamo, I would watch it anywhere in Texas. This is great. This is a great fight. I'm excited about it. Diego Lopez coming off that, that championship loss against Volkanovski, who looks, like he's having a resurgence. We'll see, who he fights next against, John Silva, the one that could keep the fighting nerds afloat. Like you
Right.
said, the fighting nerds have taken some beatings, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll check their, some people are calling them frauds, some are not. We'll see though. Maybe John Silva can bring them back. Like you said, Diego Lopez is 26-7, and John Silva has a nice record of 16-2. My biggest thing is John Silva hasn't lost in, I believe, since 2016.
Oh,
That's 9 years.
wow.
You know, that,
Yeah.
that's a but as well as he hasn't fought anyone like Lopez. He's coming off that steamroll of Bryce Mitchell.
That's
Bryce
right.
Mitchell went
That's
down
right.
in Bryce he went down in weight, and he got the jiu-jitsu specialist. Everyone, John Silva choked him out easy.
Right. Right. I remember
So
seeing that. It
so
was a little scary. It was a
yeah,
little scary. Yeah, because they were not happy with Bryce Mitchell at that point, and I think a lot of people were happy that he got choked out so effectively.
maybe Dana was the happiest. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, with this
So who
one's to me another disrespectful 2-1 odds. As Diego Lopez is coming in as an underdog 2-1. I
Right.
just don't get that. I don't understand that. I understand Silva has a hype train behind him, but if you look at it, Diego Lopez has definitely fought the better competition with Ortega beating Ige and
Right.
Youssef. He's 5-1. Still Diego Lopez is 5-1 in his last six. Again, losing to Volkanovski.
Right. And it was close.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. I
Yeah.
actually had it scored for Lopez, but it wasn't a robbery to me. Silva's fought some good people, Dober, Jourdain, and like I just mentioned, Bryce Mitchell. But all in all, I got to go with Diego Lopez.
Okay.
Just totally disrespectful on the 2-1 odds, and I'm going to jump all over that. And with the reach advantage and the slight 4-inch height advantage, like I said, I believe that makes a difference. And I like Diego Lopez in a hard fought fight with this. I believe it goes all 5 rounds, but you never know. These guys can slug it out as well. But I got Diego Lopez getting the nod on that one.
Yeah, and Diego Lopez I see here is ranked number 2, and John Silva is ranked number 10 at the moment. I mean,
Yeah,
if Silva was able to pull it off, that's a big win over somebody in the top 5. And then once you start getting into that top 5 elite upper echelon of fighters, things do change. I agree with you. I think Lopez right now, I think he has some experience. I think he's been able to put some wins together, and then he had that little bit of a hiccup with Volkanovski, nothing uh, to be ashamed over. And I had it close. And I don't know if Silva, as intense as he is, I don't know, man. It's a different animal at in the top 5 of the UFC. What do you
exactly,
think?
exactly.
What do you think is on deck for the winner of Lopez Silva?
You know, I believe Silva would need to have one more fight after that,
Okay,
and Lopez could possibly reach out for that second try at Volkanovski. If it just depends who Volkanovski's fighting next.
okay,
But all in all, John Silva with the big win. People love the fighting nerds. They love him.
yeah,
They've lost. So it's just more reason to get him in there against Volk. But to jump from 10 to title contender, even beating the number 2, that's a big jump. I don't really see that happening. I still see him having one more fight, even though he beats Lopez, if he does that.
yeah. That would be hard to put him right there in with Volk right away. I was trying to think about who
Exactly.
Volk was going to fight, who his next fight was, and I
You know
couldn't
what?
think of it. I don't think it's been set.
I don't have, I don't think it's set yet.
Okay,
There's still I'm sure Yair's in the mix still, and
oh, that's right.
I don't have the rankings in front of me. I'd have to look at it and really see. But like you said as well. Like jumping from 10 to contender is kind of unheard of. But you never know. You never know.
Right.
Dana may be thinking.
All right. All right. Well, thanks a lot for your expertise here with the UFC for UFC Noche. Commenting on what you said earlier, I do like this card. One thing I like especially is that it's not pay-per-view. They're not having a pay-per-view for the month of September. I think they're having two in October, but this UFC Noche card that usually costs pay-per-view like it did last year, this year it's not, right? It's on ESPN
Exactly.
Plus.
Yep. ESPN.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good. So we got Canelo Crawford on Netflix. If you have Netflix and if you have ESPN Plus, you got UFC all day fight-a-palooza. So I know you don't. You're not the biggest boxing fan, but I'm sure you like a good scrap here and there. Who do you got? Canelo versus Crawford. Who do you got? Come on, final pick.
Man, that is tough. I've been back and forth with it. I watch some boxing, but like you said, I don't follow it too much these past few years. I have to go with Canelo being,
Okay.
I believe the size, the Crawford is great, and they're both, you can say they're even on their fighting experience and expertise. So I'm going to have to give it to Canelo, being that Crawford is not jumping up one weight, but a couple of weights to
Yeah,
try to
two weight classes, almost
dethrone.
three.
Is it three? I was gonna ask, is it two or three? So uh I just see that being
It's
too much.
two. Yeah, it's two weight classes because he actually did have one fight at 154. He won a title against Israel Madrimov at 154. But you're talking about a guy who's undisputed, Terrence Crawford, who was undisputed at junior welterweight. That's 140. He was undisputed at 147. That was when he fought Errol Spence to get that undisputed championship. And then from 147, he fought one fight at 154. He barely got that. I actually had Madrimov winning that fight, and
Okay.
he got a title there, and then that's when he called for the Canelo fight, got it. And now he's going from one fight at 154, all past 160, all the way to 168. So he's skipping middleweight, going straight to super middleweight, and fighting probably one of the best fighters in the last 15 years. So I mean,
That
not a easy order for Terrence Crawford, and I agree he is probably one of the better fighters also in the last 15 years. We're going to find out if he can pull off something that I've never really seen before. And if I did, I didn't even know I was watching it. Not since like Duran or something like that. That someone's pulled off something so great. Definitely not in the modern age of boxing here in the last 10 years. No one would dare do that, but we got it on Saturday, so that's good. You're going with Canelo. I'm going with Canelo as well.
awesome.
I see him hitting those arms. I think those arms are going to get tired out. Extra muscle that burns, and I see Crawford's arms coming down a little bit. And the only reason I say that is because man, I've been in there. I've been hitting the arms. It hurts. You get tired. I know Crawford's a different guy, but still, I mean Canelo hits, and it you just can't stop that. But it's gonna be a great fight.
Do you,
At least
do
it's gonna be an interesting fight.
do you see it going the distance, or more of maybe a KO, a finish?
No, I just because I see because I'm picking well because I think Canelo's gonna win. The one thing about Canelo is that I don't see he will stick to a plan or he'll stick to plan B, but he I don't that plan will never be to step on the gas against
Uh,
somebody. If he's in control, the only time he steps on gas is when he's not winning. And that's only happened a few times. But every time he steps on the gas, he kind of makes mistakes because he's taking chances. So I think he'll step on the gas a little bit if he believes he's in a little bit of danger or he's behind on the scorecards. But if he's in the driver's seat, he'll continue doing what he's doing. Not to say that that's not going to be exciting in a fight like this. You have two guys that usually aren't ever losing. It's exciting just to see one not 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 winning at the time. So who knows? Maybe it'll be even
yeah,
the whole time and it'll come down to the championship rounds. It's intriguing. If nothing else, it's intriguing and we'll get to see. And I think anybody who wins, I don't think that the whoever doesn't win, I should say, whoever doesn't win, I don't think they're gonna look bad at all. All right.
win-win, win-win,
Yeah.
man.
Win-win, win-win. If you're
Win-
able to step in that ring, hey, you know what? They're earning. I know Canelo's earning a whole lot of money, so he's always winning. He's always winning, and so is
Exactly.
Crawford this time. Good for Crawford, man. Get your money, man. Get your money. All right, so that's it. Hopefully, we didn't run a little long here. It seems like our shows are running a little bit longer than I anticipated, but you know what? We're learning here, okay? And this is the first time a dog here has been able to join us here, and hopefully he comes back on. So if you have any questions for him, ask him. Put it in the comments, and you can ask him any questions, and I'm sure we'll go over it and we'll answer it. All right. So, all right, brother. Thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll see. We'll try to get with you guys. Brian and I will try to get with you guys post fight Canelo Crawford. We're gonna try to do a live one right after and talk about what just happened. Hopefully we can,
Awesome.
and unless Brian had too many beers, and we'll see. Maybe I'll come on by myself. All right, man.
Awesome, man.
Thanks a lot.
I just want to say one
Yeah,
more thing. I want to say congratulations for taking the first step and starting your podcast to shed some light
thanks, man.
on, you've always had a passion for boxing since you were young, and shedding that light on these amateur and youth boxing. It's just great, man, that you're continuing it. And I congratulate you, man. Commend you. Awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's just a hobby. We're not here, like I said in the beginning. We're not here for likes. We're not here to influence anybody. We're just giving our opinions, and yeah, we may be a little, we may be off here and there, but these are our opinions, man. And we do watch it. I mean, I research it, and yeah,
Yeah.
always wrong. You should see some of the picks I've done. It's horrible, just
Yeah.
terrible. And I'm like, what was I thinking, man? That might happen on Saturday. I don't know, man. Look, when it all comes down to it, experts, non-experts, casuals, Vegas odds, what do
Exactly.
we, we don't know we don't know what we're doing. That's why they fight the fights. If the fight
And
was
that's why we
done,
watch.
that's why we watch. All right. It's all
That's
about
right.
enjoying the fights, okay? And but thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. And the viewers, I appreciate you guys too. If you guys actually watch this, perfect. I've already seen that we've got a few views. I'm already ecstatic, man. I'm all happy about it. So all right. Like I said, we're gonna try to come up with the post fight with Canelo Crawford, and if not, we'll review it next week with Brian, and then we'll review some things here with Adog later on. All right, so we'll see you later. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Good night, brother.